This is The Issue, and I am the Ghetto Man. Today's issue, the sixth plank of the Communist Manifesto, the centralization of the means of communication and transportation in the hands of the state. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Okay, what is this? This is the seventh video in our series on the 10 planks of the Communist Manifesto. This video is on the sixth plank, but it is the seventh video because the first video was just an introduction to communism. Well, what is the sixth plank of the Communist Manifesto anyway? It's the centralization of the means of communication and transportation in the hands of the state. The state controls everything dealing with any type of communication, and the state controls everything dealing with any sort of transportation within the country. Well, in the United States, believe it or not, we practice the sixth plank of the Communist Manifesto 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, and 365 days out of the year. Okay, the first part of the sixth plank deals with the centralization of the means of communication. All means of communication in America today are completely controlled and regulated by the government. Now, have you ever heard of the Federal Communications Commission, the FCC? Every single cell phone, iPad, computer, radio, CD player, record player, light bulb, camera, flash drive, answering machine, CB, computer, router, modem, server, fluorescent light, security system, and even the appliances in your house. Everything, every electronic, every device is regulated by the government. Every radio, TV station, newspaper, and magazine in local or mass distribution is in some sort of corporate or juristic capacity and is licensed and regulated by the state. How about the NSA, the National Security Agency? Well, it monitors and collects data from every single person in the United States, and it does so in violation of the Fourth and Fifth Amendments to the United States Constitution. The private communications of every single American, every day, are regulated and monitored by the government. Now, that doesn't sound like freedom to me. Now, the second part of the sixth plank of the Communist Manifesto calls for the centralization of the means of transportation. Have you ever heard of the Department of Transportation, the DOT? Every road, highway, railroad, and airway in America is regulated and controlled by government. Every truck, bus, car, and even every bicycle moving across the nation is subject to complete government regulation and control. All the interstate highways are controlled and regulated. Every time I use an interstate highway, as I go up the on-ramp, there's a little bitty sign off to the side that says controlled access. And those of us who are old enough or have parents who were old enough to remember that in Nazi Germany, people couldn't travel unless they had the proper papers to do so. They were stopped. They were stopped by government, and their traveling papers were checked. And if their papers were not in order, they were taken into custody. The same scenario took place in the Soviet Union as well. When you think about it, is there any difference today in America when a state trooper forces you to pull your car over to the side of the road and says, "You will be free to go as soon as I see your driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance, your traveling papers"? And just like Nazi Germany, once the state trooper is satisfied that your papers are in order, he writes you a ticket and you're free to go. But if your papers are not in order, watch out. Your car will be confiscated, impounded and held for ransom. and you'll be charged with a crime pretended. When I say that, we're talking about a quasi-criminal crime, meaning that there's really no crime there. We're just going to call it a crime even though there is no corpus delicti or no damage. That's what quasi means. It's not really a crime, but we're going to call it a crime anyway. And then you have to post bail, hire an attorney, pay exorbitant fines, and maybe even have to go to jail. Why? Because you dared to travel in America without having your traveling papers in order. Now think about that for a second. Maybe we should say, welcome to the land of the free and the home of the slave, where every American practices the sixth plank, just like the Communist Manifesto calls for it. Think about it, comrade. I am the Ghetto Man. Thank you for watching. And I am the Red Pill. If you're politically correct, then you're legally wrong. And if you're not part of the solution, then you are the problem. Please subscribe to my channel. Please share.